drafts. Let's start with number
they're
one.
They're a 19-year-old. All right, top 5 drafts. I'm gonna go number 1. We won't number them.
Yeah, I think you just got to name
They're
them.
all great.
Yeah,
so the top 5 drafts were the Cleveland Browns, Chicago Bears, Los Angeles Chargers, Detroit Lions, and then I will go. This one's tough. The 5th team here. I'm gonna go Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
As the 5th team. Loved all 5 of those drafts, but some shout outs to the Jets, Dolphins, Ravens. The Jets got great players. It's just that trade I didn't love.
Yeah.
Like to give up 2 third-rounders. Like I would have loved to them just go the best lineman that falls to you in the 1st, and then 2 of the best linemen that fall to you in the 3rd. Could have had Brady Christensen and Wyatt Davis also, as well as Christian Darrisaw, standing at your picks. Like that would be a completely rebuilt offensive line, as opposed to just one Elijah Vera Tucker. It's very good. Gonna be a great guard for you, but now you have 3 more holes still.
Yeah.
So.
Just like, can he be as impactful as like the 2 other players that you obviously gave up in the round 3?
Yes.
It's going to be doubtful. I think Los Angeles Chargers one, obviously very good. Love the Rashawn Slater pick at 13. I think that's my Rashawn Slater at 13. And you grab Asante Samuel Jr. at 47, and then Josh Palmer, who is a reach compared to what other boards are, but PFF, we really like Josh Palmer. I think getting those guys with your first 3 picks were power moves for this Chargers team.
Yeah, so I think there were 3 teams. I went back and looked. 3 teams that with their first 2 draft picks did exactly what we would have done, or I guess I would have done on the PFF draft board. That was Chicago Bears, the trade-up for Fields, and then Tevin Jenkins when he was on the board there. The Cleveland Browns with Greg Newsome and then Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and the Los Angeles Chargers with Rashawn Slater and Asante Samuel Jr. Like that's exactly what we would have done in the exact same situations. Yeah. Those are the players we would have picked.
Expand more on the Detroit Lions draft, because I think some people really like this draft. Others are like souring on it because they're still a bad football team. But I think they know, they're well aware they're not going to be uber competitive in 2021. Like they know that they have the 2nd lowest projected win total of any team in the NFL. But what they did, and they went in and added legit talent in the trenches. Penei Sewell, Levi Muzurike, Aleem McNeil, and then they added Ifeatu Melifonwu at pick, I think, 102. Like that. I think they got a lot of value in this draft. And while it won't show up in the win column probably this year, I think down the road it could be great.
Yes. So Lions last regime, Bob Quinn, they come in and they say, we want to get more physical. Everyone comes in and wants to get more physical. And what do they draft? They draft linebackers, 2-down linebackers, running backs high, tight end. And it's like those, okay, sure, you're emphasis on stopping the run, running the ball, whatever. Those aren't the positions to address if that's your emphasis. You want to get more physical. You draft guys like Penei Sewell. You draft guys like Aleem McNeil. You draft big-ass corners like Ifeatu Melifonwu. You draft a wide receiver who can run block like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but also can get open. And you draft a good blitzing linebacker like Derek Barnes from Purdue. That's how you get more physical if that's your goal. And obviously Dan Campbell, his press conference was a caricature about getting more physical at the Lions. But this is how you would do it. In my opinion, is attack the positions that are valuable, that get paid a lot, like save yourself some goddamn money against the cap, because everyone has the same $182.5 million to work with. You have to find a way to use that money more efficiently than other teams. At the end of the day, that is how you win a Super Bowl. Use that money more efficiently than other teams. And the biggest way to get efficiency is good players on rookie deals. Always.
Man, just dropping facts here. Day 5 of PFF's live draft coverage here. Let's jump down to your bottom 5 drafts.
Bottom 5 drafts. So now it's always when you don't have a lot of picks and then you light them on fire. It's an easy way to get to a bottom 5 draft.
Tell me how you really feel.
So the Houston Texans, with not a lot of picks, trading up then for one guy in Nico Collins in the 3rd round. And that's where we would have drafted Nico Collins. Fine, end of the 3rd round. But to trade up, and that was one of the worst expected value trades of the draft with what they gave up for what they got back, the pick they got back, which is just like, dude, what are you doing? But you got holes over this roster, and you want that one guy. But and then the Davis Mills pick, hammered it the day of. Makes 0 sense to me. Utterly none. You are now, I guess if he plays well as a rookie, you can trade him for more than a 3rd is your best option, like the best thing that can come from this. But one, he's probably not going to play as a rookie. Like you got Tyrod Taylor there. Deshaun Watson's not going to play for them, obviously. You got Tyrod Taylor there. So one, he's probably your backup as a rookie. And then 2, you're going to have a top 3 pick. You're the worst team in the NFL on paper. It's not even a debate. What's their win total? 4?
4.5.
4.5 in the 17-game season. That's your over-under. And I'm still taking the under. that's where you're at as a franchise. So recognize that and realize that you're going to draft a quarterback next year, even if you love Davis Mills. It's kind of like, what's his face? Gardner Minshew. Like, Gardner Minshew can be fine. You're still going to draft a quarterback if you got the number 1, number 2, or number 3 overall pick, and they're going to. And so recognize that. So I went in a little bit too much on that. Let's go to the next team here. Seattle Seahawks, another team with not a lot of picks, and then they go Dwayne Eskridge, who you have the worst cornerback group in the NFL. Now they addressed it a little later on, Trey Brown, and they addressed their offensive line. I love the guys they did draft in Trey Brown, Stone Forsythe, where they got them. But Dwayne Eskridge is a one-trick speed dude with bad hands. 16 drops, I believe like 138 catchable over the course of his college career. Every year, bad and just rough. And he's going to be 24 as a rookie. Just like, I don't know. I don't think you needed to draft him where they did. But that's why they're on this list.
What's your opinion of the Saints draft? I think a lot of people are seeing the Saints draft as one of the worst ones, but we don't have that as a bottom 5 draft.
It was close to a bottom 5. It wasn't great. But the Adebo pick, I can understand. The Werner pick is solid at least. He's a solid player. Turner, like I said, like Turner, but just kind of an unknown. So I don't hate it. Kind of like, but some of like the decisions these other teams made, like, were just like very big head scratchers. Like the Rams didn't make the bottom 5 either, and I kind of had some issues with what they did also. But like I said, these bottom 5 were like, just every pick was kind of just yikes.
All right, let's wrap here with just some landing spots for the top undrafted free agents.
Oh, I didn't say the other bottom 5. So Packers, Steelers, and Raiders. Packers, biggest consensus board reach in the first round. Or not consensus board, PFF board reach in the first round. I think the second biggest PFF board reach in the second round. When that's the case, we're just not going to like your draft. And before people say, oh, you guys think you know everything here at PFF, it's like, if you're watching this, you're coming from my opinion. That's my opinion on those 2 picks. I was far lower than the Packers were. There you have it. The Steelers, running back, like we talked about ad nauseum. You could have gotten a tackle. You got to help your pass protection and your run game. You got to run it back.
I do think that I started to like what some of the things that the Steelers did on day 2, but the Najee Harris pick, it just doesn't make a ton of sense from the value.
Yeah.
Like, you got a good player. Like, you got a good player in Najee Harris, but getting him at 24 when you had opportunities to add along the offensive line, get it Tevin Jenkins or whatever it may be. Yeah. Like, I remember when we were doing pre-draft stuff, it was like, oh, they're getting a tackle. There's no way Tevin Jenkins makes it past 24. And they pass on him. And they pass on a lot of other really, talented offensive tackles to bring in Najee Harris, and they have holes on this offensive line. It's crazy.